give an answer to my question. He said, how do you use this verse? The Quran says, وَبَارَكْنَا the verse that talks about that we have protected this land or this place. وَالَّذِي بَارَكْنَا حَوْلَهُ Qura. Villages. وَالَّذِي بَارَكْنَا حَوْلَهُ We have villages which we have protected. And people feel ameneen, feel peaceful in these places. He said, what is that place? He said, it is house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Makkah. He said, well, do you know that Syed ibn Jubair and Abdullah ibn Zubair, they took refuge in Khana Kaaba and Yazid's army dragged them out and killed them? He said, yes. He said, then, well, it is not the peaceful place. People were killed even in Makkah. He said, well, it is the land between Makkah and Medina. He changed his answer very quickly. So the Imam said, any one of you went for Hajj this year? They said, yes, I went for Hajj, I went, many people. He said, when did you go from Makkah to Medina to visit the Holy Prophet as well? They said, yes. Ibn Rasulullah, O son of the Holy Prophet, we all went for the Ziyarat of the Holy Prophet as well. Did you feel safe between Makkah and Medina, or did you ever feel that we'll be robbed? He said, we were always frightened during the nights that we'll be robbed. He said, well, the people are saying that they don't feel peaceful. And the Quran says, Ameneen, they feel peaceful. What is the verse? He said, well, I don't know this one, ask me another verse. The Imam was later asked, Maulana, which is this place? He says, this Qura. This place, it is not a physical place, it is the Aimma alayhimus salam, the Imams. He said, Maulana, give me an example from the Quran that Allah has said a village. And He has used the word Qura, village, in the meaning of people. Not the place, but the people. He said, the Quran says, وَأَهْلَقْنَا الْقُرَى الَّذِي أَهْلُهَا ظَالِمِينَ We destroyed the villages that its people were oppressors. He said Allah destroyed the people, not the villages. He destroyed all the people. He said, so He's used the word Qura in another place in the meaning of place. And then He gave a few other examples from the Quran. He said Allah has used it. So it is us. So Imam asked him many questions. He says, okay, I guess I don't know Quran so well. Ask me a question from Hadith. So the Imam said, okay, which is afdal, which is better according to your qiyas? Namaz, prayer or fasting? He said, the Holy Prophet said the prayer is better, so the prayer is better. He said, but you do qiyas. You do analogy, because he sees things similar. He doesn't have a strong basis. He said, according to your qiyas, you think namaz is better? He says, yes. He said, then why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say when the women miss out the prayers, it is not wajib for them to do qada of it. But if they miss out fasting, it is wajib for them to do qada. He said, ask me another question. So the Imam said, which is more worse crime, killing or adultery? Murder or adultery? He said, murder. He said, but then why did Allah say 2 witnesses for murder and 4 for adultery? He said, ask me another question. So Imam said, which is more najis? Urination or semen? He said, urination. So the Imam said, then why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after urination said only washing, and after semen he said ghusl? He said, ask me another question. So he kept going on, and Imam kept asking questions. He said, okay, I don't know. Imam said, you are lying to me. Stop giving fatwas, because you will destroy all the ones who follow you, and you will destroy yourself. Halakta wa ahlakt. You will destroy yourself and everyone who follows you. You don't know what you're talking about. He said, I promise you, I will not give fatwas after today. Imam said, you are lying. The love of this dunya has taken you over. As soon as you leave my presence, you will say, that's how Jafar ibn Muhammad talks, and then he'll continue giving fatwas. And that's what he did. So the Imam al-Islam, that's why we say qiyas is haram. But he did not condemn any of his students who was teaching in Kufa, Hazrat Muhammad Muslim. Yes. Last question?
Yes, Lord.
Okay.
Just on that point, is it correct that he also studied under Imam Bakr?
No. They say, no. He wasn't even born at the time of Imam Bakr. He was born in the time of Imam Sadiq al-Islam. Our Sunni brothers claim that his mother married Imam Sadiq al-Islam after the death of his father. They try and say that he was a true follower of Ahlul Bayt, and he was a lover of Ahlul Bayt. Imam married his mother to say that he's my son, and no. And recently on one of the, like there are so many channels now on Islam, You know, and one of the Sunni alims said, no, Imam Abu Hanifa was like a son to Imam Sadiq al-Islam, and the Shias don't accept him. You know, like he was trying to endorse it. What about all of these things? He said, yes, but it's a way of correcting a son. You know, when your son goes wrong, the father corrects him, so Imam corrected him. I said, look, these are strong wordings. The Imam said, you will destroy yourself and anyone who follows you. He said, it's a way of Imam, you know, telling his son, don't do it, you know. He said, well, he continued doing it, didn't he? So they defend him and they say, no, the Imam didn't mean it like that. The Shias are very prejudiced against Imam Abu Hanifa. And the Imam is only correcting him. You know, they try and, they have it in their hadith books. They say the Imam corrected him. Look at the words. The Imam said, stop your fatwas because you will destroy yourself and anyone who follows you. Why doesn't he say that to other followers in Kufa? So they say, no, you shouldn't say, they are holy people, they are respected, you should ignore these things about it. And our stance is we cannot ignore the statements of the Imams. The statements of the Imams are final words for us.
Just one other quick point. You mentioned a book by Syed al-Sadr. Do you know the translation of that in English?
The Principles of Jurisprudence.
One final question, just a really quick one. Does istikhara fall under the umbrella of ijtihad or not?
In what sense?
In the sense that, is that not also interpretation?
No, not necessarily, no.
It's not.
That is an understanding of the ayat of the Quran. That is more understanding of, if a person is doing istikhara from the Holy Quran, then he would need to have an understanding on the tafsir of the Holy Quran. And Quran has 513 verses to do with fiqh. The others are about aqaid, about akhlaqiyat, you know, ethics, theology, you know, so very few verses on the So istikhara would mainly fall under having strong understanding of tafsir.
Well, we'll bring it to an end there. Thank you very much for this evening's lecture.
I hope and pray that you all have a better understanding of istikhara. One brother said to me that he got lost a few times. I hope it didn't happen. He left.
He's an A-star student.
He's an A-star student. But you see, being an A-star student in maths and physics, chemistry, biology doesn't mean that you're also an A-star student in Quran, Hadith, fiqh, and all the other sciences. You know, different people have different. A medical doctor, if you told him to study philosophy, I have my brother-in-law and all of his, you know, he's a surgeon, he's a consultant now. So all of his friends came and they were visiting me when I was in the hospital, quite seriously sick. So I had my books on logic. He said, what does that involve? So I showed them, and they were books taught in bachelor's level, you know, university level. So they said, does that involve maths? They were all qualified doctors, intelligent, and none of them, they said, it doesn't sink in, to be honest. Even though they were qualified, it doesn't mean that they don't have brains. Everyone has, you know, if your brain works in this thing, it doesn't necessarily mean everyone. Faqih and mujtahid, if you sit down with an 80, 90-year-old mujtahid, and their sharpness and understanding on Quran, Hadith, Ijtihad, all of those different sciences. The brother that came with me, I was discussing with him, Atullah Zanjani, one of the living contemporary mujtahideen, an expert on ilm, Atullah Sayyid Musa Shubairi Zanjani. He leads the prayers in the Haram of Hazrat Masuma Qom. He's the biggest living expert on ilm rijal. They say that probably he's a bigger expert than Atullah Khoy on ilm rijal alone, not on all the sciences, but ilm rijal. He has all the 24,000 rawat memorized. And it's not just one science that he's an expert in. He's a master in 20 sciences, 23 sciences. And in one science, he has memorized the encyclopedia, you know, the 25-volume encyclopedia? It's not easy, you know. You may think, oh yeah, he's an 80-year-old man, he can do it. No, it's not easy. I promise you any money. Even now they've fed them, you know, like in home, they're putting everything in CDs. Making it for people like, you know, making it easy for people like me, you know, who can't have a 400,000 book library, you know. So they put all the books of Ilm Rijal, you know, the 1,000 volumes of tafsir in one CD. Even in Ilm Rijal CD, you know, you type in the word, the name, this is the Ravi. Is this Sikha or not? You press enter, it goes, you know, it's going through 24,000, you know, after a while it says, yes, trustworthy or not trustworthy. And him, you say, Agha, or Sayyid ibn Musayyib Sikha,